Welcome to this World Painter feature tutorial. In this video I'm excited to showcase a new feature I've been working on that allows you to carve rivers and canyons as well as raise whole continents with a single click, all directly within World Painter. No world machine, no Gaia. This feature opens up a world of possibilities for customizing your Minecraft worlds, so let's dive in and explore how to use it. First things first, we're gonna make a continent. For this I use a custom brush of mine. Let's select annotations. This script is all based on searching where cyan annotation is placed and then working on that. So I'm gonna spray down a continent outline with my custom fractal brush I made some time ago. Yeah, that's a continent. Now it's important that we use a brush with hard edges here instead of one with soft edges, because the spray painted shape will be raised to be our continent. If we have like little weird holes in it, like this one, where it's kind of spray painted, it's gonna look weird because it will either create a big hole or a big pillar in the end. So what I'm gonna do is clean up this edge with another script I made. It's the expand layer. Let's make 5 wide, chance 1 all cyan. It's gonna expand this cyan layer by 5 other layers, as you can see, and it's gonna smooth out all the little dots that might have appeared. Right. So now we have our basic shape for the continent. What we now do is run the script on it. It's called a ValleyCraft. It's an early version, and as you can see, it cuts valleys and rivers along cyan annotations. But I found out you can also instead raise terrain. So this number here is what the level of all cyan marked blocks will be after the script has run. It's, right now it's 60, but that's below ocean. Ocean level is 62 by default. So instead I'm going to raise it to 100, so it's going to be about 40 blocks above the waves. Transition distance is starting from the cyan edge. It's going to go out 100 blocks around the whole edge and smoothly incorporate the new height into the existing terrain. We don't need a large transition distance, so I'm just going to set it to 20. And this is the river profile. Essentially what it does is it's going to raise the cyan blocks to 100, and then on the edge it's going to go out 1 block and make +0, and then +1 on the next circle surrounding it, +2, and so on. Which this profile makes sense for a river, but we want a continent, so I want the edge to start at 100 +0 and then go, because it's gonna go down to the ocean, I want the edge to go downwards, so -1, -2, and then -5 to have it like something like a quadratic curve. Quadratic would be this one. We can also do that. Then we run the script. Depending on how, that was fast, depending on how big your marked area is, it's going to take longer or shorter. Bigger maps also take longer because it has to check every single block on the whole map. So what you can see is it raised the continent out of the water here, and we can see that this profile here is what we input as the riverbed profile. It starts at 0, goes down 1, goes down 2, and then goes down 4. And then it's gonna start on the red line. It's smoothly transitioning to the natural, already existing old surface. So this here is 20 layers of transition. We can check it with our brush. Pop-up radius 20, like this, and then I think we defined 4 or 3 layers of profile. So this is profile 0, 1, 2, 3, and then plus 20 blocks of transition. The transition is not linear, it's an S-curve. So if we just so you get a feeling for it, let's put it to 100, make 0 transition. No, make the profile is 0, so that it essentially we can also just delete it. We don't need any profile, and make 20 blocks of transition. So our profile defines it's just gonna be straight and then cut right down to the original, and then the transition kicks in and will smooth out this hard edge we would otherwise get. Now we have to put one. It's mandatory. Right. So as you can see here, we have this profile, and if I drain the water, why am I not doing what I want? It is doing what I want. You can see the profile is somewhat of an S-curve, and on the bottom it starts smooth, then it goes down fast, and then it smooths out towards the original terrain again. So it's an S-curve. So if you make it bigger, the transition will be wider. If you put in 40 blocks instead of 20, the transition will be twice as wide as it is now. So you have complete control of it. Right. For my liking, these cliffs are not steep enough. So I'm gonna run it again. 100. We had 20, make transition of 10, 1 minus 1 minus 2 minus 4, and run it. That's more like it. Okay. Now I also don't like how smoothly this was carved out, so I'm gonna run the expand script again with not 1 but 1.9 and maybe 10. This is the chance that the next layer will be generated. If you put 0.5, you're gonna get something like this fractal edge here. If you put 1, you're gonna get a really smooth edge, and it's not quite linear. So 0.9 is, in my experience, a good value. So make everything cyan, also the new layers, let it run. That's also quite smooth, a bit better maybe. 10.8. That's good. I like that one. Now we have little points here. That's not ideal. Do we have little points? Yeah, I think we can live with that. ValleyCraft again. 100 high, transition of 10, 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 4, maybe minus 16. Oops, minus 16. Run. You can see here this is the profile we defined. 1, 2, 4, 16, and then the transition kicks in. It's creating this weird little bump. So maybe we don't need an edge profile at all. No, like this. 10 and 0 profile. Let's go. Yeah, that's fine. I can live with that. That's good. Cool. So we have a continent now, right? We raised this continent. All the cyan blocks are level 100, so it's it flattened the whole area. We lost all the natural bumpy stuff. We can add that back in if we care about it. Yeah, like so. But that's not what I want to do right now. What I want to do is create some rivers that go through this continent. Now, the script is intended for ocean level rivers. That means the rivers are, the water level in those rivers is level 62, and the same as the ocean. The benefit of that is the rivers essentially will be flat with the ocean, so you can drive a boat up the river, through the river, and into maybe a lake where it starts. That's great for gameplay. You might want to have sloped rivers that basically start somewhere. If we put a mountain here, so the river starts. We just quickly draw one. Starts here, goes down and into the ocean, and you want this part to be higher than this one. It will not be shippable by boat and not by modded boats, which is not great gameplay wise, but it might look a bit cooler. This script cannot do that. You need the river script by Simon, or you can maybe do it by hand. I don't think you can do it by hand. Water is really annoying in World Painter. But instead, what we're gonna do is I want this river to end in the ocean here. I'm gonna just draw a nice meandering river, and it's gonna end in this lake here, like that. And then it can have a little river split. Oops, the river splitting. It can form a delta like that, and we can also, if you use the pencil tool and you put a point down and press shift, you can draw lines, which is really helpful if you want to do connected curves. So we can make another small river arm here, and that one goes there, and that's where the delta goes. Right. Now this already looks like a pretty cool river system, in my opinion, from above. So what we're going to do now is run ValleyCraft script again, but this time we're not going to raise it up. Instead, we're going to raise the cyan part down. Keep in mind that the water level is 62, so that means if we want a river that is 2 blocks deep on all cyan blocks, we should put in water level -2, which is 60, which is okay for 2. Maybe let's put 59, so it's 3 deep. Transition distance, I'm going to leave it 100, and we're going to use a default profile so you can see what's going to go on. Since our continent is 100 blocks high, the river will be carved 40 blocks deep down into the ground, which means we should probably use a large transition distance, because it's gonna have to climb 40 blocks high, and we don't want a super steep cliff. We want it to integrate naturally into the area. So check this out. Well, that's not intended. Now, what what did the script do? Again, all cyan blocks are forced to exactly the height above the height which we input in the script parameter, which is 59. So every block here is level 59. Then we have the river profile, which forces all blocks right on the edge of the cyan. In this case 5. The profile was defined 5 blocks or something. To be exactly this profile. So it's gonna make some kind of smooth U, and then the transition kicks in, and that's what you can see here, the very large transition, and it's integrating it into the environment. Yeah. Basically, that's all there is to it for now. You can see here that these were the original cyan ones, and then we have like something like the profile, and we can manipulate the profile, right? So the profile is you go one layer that is 0, you go another one that is +1, so in this case 60 height +1, 61, 62, 63. Then we go 64 for 3 layers, 65 for 5 layers. So this whole profile is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 5 is 12 wide. That's the guaranteed profile you get. Then if we put our transition distance to 0, we will only see this profile kick in, and then we have a very, very hard transition with 0 blocks wide. That's what happened here. See, 0 transition. This is the profile, and then you have 0 transition, and it goes on. Maybe we want a very smooth transition, because the one before was a bit too steep for my liking, and unnatural. You can see it covered almost the whole continent. But this looks a lot more natural in my opinion. The transition also somewhat ate up the whole mountain we put here, because that's how transition works. The difference here would be somewhere like this is 140 high, this is 60 down, so it's a height of 60. You can't smoothly transition into that. You have to make it wide. But maybe I also want a very short transition, so it's somewhat like the Grand Canyon, where it's a real canyon with a little river inside of it. So let's put this one, and then you get that. Now, you have some artifacts here where it's putting the river profile into the ocean, which makes little sense. We can easily can smooth that out. Don't show that stuff. So, and now we have a little delta here. Let's make it a little bit prettier. Oops, we can still see that. If our continent, this is level 100, so we're going to add above, yeah, 70, okay, so that's fine. Oops, ray is not flattened. If we make our continent a bit hilly, then we have a bit less unnatural looking river system, because it's not going to transition into this smooth block, but into a more natural looking landscape. You can also prepare the area a bit by by making it a bit lower here, so the shape of the continent already somewhat looks like the river is going to be there in the end. 60, 100, yeah, fine, whatever. Let's do it. And you can see it's a bit nicer. You still get some artifacts here because just because of how the search algorithm here walks outwards, so you have these diagonal lines sometimes. But to be honest, you can just smooth it out and it's not going to be noticeable. Right? Oh, what's that? Ah, because I have 70 or above. Classic. Oh, and there it is. No more noticeable lines. You can smooth it a bit if you care. Now, you have your river system, that's great, but maybe after you build this, you want to add another river, right? So let's remove, let me think for a second, remove annotations. You can join new rivers with the script into the existing system, but you have to prepare a bit. Say we want to make a small stream. It's gonna, well, why is it not working? Ah, spray paint. This, 100. Oh no, this one. It's gonna start here, come down, and then join into the river. Now, what this script will do again, like we saw here, it's gonna force the border of it, and we don't want that to happen here because we would get a raised terrain here, which is grass and not water. So what we do is we can mark with any color that is not cyan. We can mark areas that should not be that the script should not touch, right? So just gonna do it like this. So the script can only operate in the unmarked area. It starts at this cyan layer and then it searches outwards, and it can't cross already marked parts. That's fine. Run, go. And you can see that we still got a little one here. This is where the unmarked area was. You have to give it some kind of room. Can probably, yeah, no, that's fine. Let's keep it like this. And now we have to we can just smooth it in, and we have successfully joined a new river into the system, starting here, which is way faster than what you can do by hand. Essentially the point is that you can draw your river system and then you can run the script again and again and again until you find a shape that you like, and you don't and if you found one that you liked, you can just write it down and save it to Notepad or something, and then you can reuse it and get the same results again, instead of having to handcraft the same thing over and over and over every time you change a little bit. Because maybe you decide you want a mountain somewhere in here, and then you have to reroute your whole river system, and with the script it's really easy to do. And we also should smooth out this bit here where the hard transition of our where is this bit? Yeah. Done. that looks like, right, let's open the delta again. Oops. Flatten. There you have it. Put down some rocks. And that's your new continent with a shippable river system. This is flat and it goes up to here, and you can see it's all height 60 down below. And you can drive a boat right from your ocean into the river, up the river, and into the lake. And we can, can maybe put some mountains right next to it. Make it above 63. Why is it not working? Oh, it below. So we don't touch the water again. Make it stronger. Ah, that looks garbage. That's better. Cool. And you have a nice little continent. So that's it from my side. Of course, it's called ValleyCraft, so you can also, if you make the bottom height being above the ocean level, this would be a canyon without a river. So you can also use it to create a canyon. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have now gotten quite a feeling on how to use the script. Have fun and see you around.